If the president of this country is sick, he will not go to the hospital even in Aso Rock. He will go to the hospital that you have in the UK.
It's so important that Nigerian citizens should understand that corruption is actually the biggest challenge that we have as a country. It's the biggest threat to our democracy. But the truth of the matter is that corruption is not an individual. Corruption is perpetrated by people, and usually by people in power. And that's why it's important for citizens not to leave the struggle against corruption to people in power, because the people in power are usually the beneficiaries of corruption. They're usually the ones who will abuse their power. And so if we leave that fight, that struggle against corruption, in their hands alone, we are essentially saying that we want this struggle to be done in a half-hearted manner, and that we are looking for half measures. So that's why it's important for us as citizens to ensure that we checkmate this everywhere and anywhere it happens, whether it is constituency projects, whether it is a project that's cited in your community that has not been done yet, money has been paid. People, even if the contractor is from your community, it's important for us to understand that what the contractor has embezzled and shared with officials is actually your borehole, is actually your primary health care, is actually your primary school and your secondary school. And that's why this fight is so important for Nigerians to take it into their own hands.
As citizens of this country, we are tired of corruption. And because we are tired of corruption, that's why we did not sit back in our houses in the comfort of our homes. Rather, we have come out into the streets today to demonstrate that indeed we are tired of corruption. We are tired of corruption because corruption has dealt deadly blows on us as citizens. It has dealt us blows left, right, front, back, center. It has left us pauperized. And so we have no other option than to come to the streets and make our voices heard and send a message clearly that corruption, the persons that are responsible, that have contributed to the destruction of Nigeria by acts of corruption, they should be brought to book.
It is the responsibility of citizens around the country to fight corruption, because the debilitating consequence of corruption is more on the citizens than the people in government. If the president of this country is sick, he will not go to the hospital even in Aso Rock. He will go to the hospital that you have in the UK. And then if he's going to go by road to anywhere, it would be just a short distance from Aso Rock to the airport. There is a helicopter that will take him around. The majority of the citizens do not have these facilities. They are the ones who have the consequences of bad road, bad schools, and the rest of them. So we must join hands, unite together as citizens of this country to fight corruption.
When it comes to the issue of fighting corruption, you don't fight corruption until you have been able to expose it. Most of the monumental expose on corruption in Nigeria had been spearheaded by the National Assembly. You call the issue of the, of the scam in the fuel subsidy, the issue of the, the corruption in the northeast of the country where the IDPs are. Most of those, incidences or acts of corruption were exposed by the National Assembly. And that is done through its oversight function. One of the primary responsibilities of the National Assembly, besides making law, is to oversight the executive. And in the course of oversight, a lot of things come to light, which are brought to the, to the forefront and to the knowledge of Nigerians through the debates, and the motions that are tabled in the House. So the National Assembly is in the forefront, through our daily activities of oversight in the agencies. That is the only way we expose, corruption.